Good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Grab yourself a cup of something or other, and let's have a talk about preparing better, because I want to let you know my opinion that you need to prepare better right now, and that's 95% of the people out there. 5% of the PMPs, the preparedness-minded people, they're set. I mean, they've been doing it right for a long time, but 95% can do better. That's what I want to talk about. I want to tell you how you can do it and why you should do it. Okay. By the way, I'm drinking today my coffee today. It's Attack Coffee, Combat Cowboy by Attack Coffee, right here in Kansas City. It's not a commercial. I just love it. They don't know why. Well, I won't get into the whole story, but I don't get anything for this. But you can't see the coffee, can you? The coffee's in there, and it is good. You can go to attackcoffee.com. I don't get anything out of it. It's windy out here today. I hope you can hear me from the window. It's just too nice a day to stay inside. So today's mug, Stonemont, the Stonemont Integrated Preparedness first annual gathering. Only people who went to that were able to get this, and it's great. I love this because it makes me remember that time of meeting so many great people. And our next upcoming one for 2025 is going to be on October the 4th, and you should make plans to be there, because it was a good one last time. I didn't get a chance to meet everybody and talk to everybody as much as I wanted to, but I'm gonna fix that this next time, and we're gonna have a great time. So I'll be talking more about that later on, October 4th. Make that day available. Get to the Kansas City area and meet some great people. I got a very nice comment. I got a really bad comment on yesterday's when I was the one about World War III, and I was telling you to settle down and don't be all wound up by these fear merchants that are coming on every day and telling you the World War III is starting again, and it's worse today than ever before, and because my message is this: you need to prepare better and fear less, and the two do go together. And I had a guy come on and said, I have secret information from such and such that it's all gonna go down. Don't listen to this guy. He's gonna get people killed. Well, I said goodbye to him, but I wanted to gotta put on my peepers to read this. Get to my other phone here and read a comment that was very meaningful to me. And I get a lot of these, and I appreciate this. This was from one a couple of weeks ago, and it's from Gina Gold. Gina, thank you so much for this, and like that. She says, well, the first sentence is a nice compliment. I'll skip over that. That's personal. She says, this stuff you're talking about, and that is, stop being so fearful. Stop letting these fear mongers get you all wound up, and it's destroying your life, to be honest. But you do need to prepare. We're going to get to that. And she says, this stuff you're talking about, let's just say I have struggled my entire life with fear and anxiety. I have been letting it steal my happiness and ruin my life, and that is exactly right. That's exactly what I was talking about. It will ruin your life. Well, no more. You make such a strong case for not allowing that to sabotage your life. I don't want to waste any more years like that. Neighbors leaving. But Steve, you live in the suburbs. You don't know your neighbors, because I hear everybody tell me that people in the suburbs don't know your neighbors. See, that's more junk that people spread who don't know any better. Don't you believe it? What Gina said was just so true, so exactly right. That the fear and anxiety, there's a saying, what is it? If you're thinking too much in the past, you're living in regret, and if you're thinking too much about the future, or dwelling on it, what you're living with anxiety. Now that doesn't mean you don't plan. It doesn't mean that you don't look forward. You should be looking forward to a better life in the future than you're living today, and that's the point of preparedness. That is the whole purpose of preparedness, is to allow, to set yourself up so that you're able to weather the storms that may come, whatever minor inconvenience to major catastrophe may come your way, so that you'll be able to survive it, but not just survive it, but to live well, to continue to live well as closely as you can to the way that you've always lived. Hopefully you live well now, right? I mean, if you live terribly now, maybe it won't be much of a change, but who wants to do that? And that's the purpose, is to prepare yourself to not just survive, but to live well, but also to improve your life today. Now I'm going to get on how to do that in a second, but I'm going to slip in here because this is the perfect place to put this on a books series that I would recommend. And yes, it is my book series, the Stonemont series. I wrote them. Yes, I'm Steve Smith, the writer, who wrote the Stonemont series, the Reversion, the Revival, the Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, the Blessings of Freedom, Hostages to Fortune, and the latest one, On Wings Like Eagles. And it's the story of a family. It's a very positive story. The guy that wrote the foreword, I always say, said it's in the first couple of books, said it's an unbelievably positive story about an unbelievably negative situation. Well, the whole world collapsed, right? An EMP, or a CME actually, knocked out everything in the world. It sent everybody back to a pre-electricity, pre-electronic time. And it is the story of a family who, as a result of their preparedness, was not only able to continue living a very good life, but was able to help other people. And they accepted people, they reached out to people, they brought people in, and they rebuilt communities. And there are 7 books already. I'm working on number 8. 7 books that take you through the whole thing in detail, in a great story. You'll learn so much, but you will not even realize that you're learning, because you'll be caught up in the story. And one of the lessons that you will come out with is one of positivism. Now, I write about all the bad stuff. I write about, brutality and what happens after a collapse, and slavery and cannibalism. I write about all that. I know about that. I'm not a dummy. I've had experience in life, a lot of it. And but the thing is, I have learned through my life that you can either do life, or you can let it do you. You can either curl up in a little ball and be afraid, and not take positive actions in your life, or you can get out, you can stand up and say, all right, there are problems in the world, and I'm going to prepare to deal with them when they come along. So if you haven't read them, I would suggest you do. You can get them through Amazon if you'd like. The link's down below. The best place to get them is through our website, stonemont.us. That link is down below. And if you get them through me, I get to sign them for you and write a note in there to you. And I love doing that, because I love my relationship with my readers, just like with you all, with my viewers. And if you get them through the website, you can get the whole set. You can buy the whole set, and you get a nice discount, because when we ship them as a set, we save a lot on shipping and handling, and we pay the shipping and handling. And then we pass that on to you, and then you get the Stonemont notebook thrown in just for you. So you want everything you've ever thought about, wanting to know about preparedness, plus more? That's your next step. Now let's talk about why you need to prepare better and how to do it. Why is fairly obvious, but it's because the world is an uncertain place and anything can happen. Now you have these other people are warning you day to day. One day it's the collapse of the economy, and the next day it's World War III, and the next day it's the globalists, and the next day it's the WEF, and the next day it's I don't know what, man. But once they arrive at the end of the next most horrible, terrible thing, then they just recycle it. Oh, okay, now it's been a week since World War III was starting, so I guess it's time to start it again, right? Okay, this keeps people who are fearful wound up in their fear. It keeps you from being able to do anything positive. You are frozen in your fear. Back when I used to teach martial arts. And back when I used to put on seminars of self-defense and combatives and all that, I would say that when a person is attacked, a person who's not used to being attacked, which is most people, right? Thankfully, they have three enemies. The first is confusion. They kind of deny it. It's kind of maybe like grief, but it's confusion. This can't be happening. Can't be happening to me. What's going on? I'm not ready. Blah, 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 you know. And the second one is fear. When they realize when they go through their momentary confusion, like what's going on, and then they see the danger that they're faced with, they fall into fear. And fear, you know, it's the old fight or flight or freeze, and that's what a lot of people do. And when you are caught in that, when you are you know, gobbling up all of the negative situation that's meant to keep you in fear because it brings the clicks, it brings the money. Be scared of this today. You're not going to do very much. To be honest, most people who love to consume the fear don't do much because they've allowed that feeling that, okay, man, things are bad. Either I can't do anything about it, or well, having watched it, I've now satisfied my responsibility. Right now, I'm afraid. Good. No, it freezes you, and what it does is it clouds your ability to see clearly, and to see what you really should do. And so the first thing that you need to do to prepare better now is to get rid of that stuff. Get that stuff out of your life. I have gotten so many, because I have just gotten so sick of all this fear mongering. Preparedness is not a fear thing. It should be a positive. There's nothing more positive than preparing, is there? Except people who do it out of fear make it negative. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to get that stuff out of your life. And what I started to say, I'm getting so many comments lately as I'm stressing this. Well, let them stress World War III. Let them stress the economy collapsing. I'm going to stress to you that you can do better, that you can make your life better. Anybody can. I don't care who you are. You can make things better. You can start today, and you can improve it tomorrow and the next day. I can make things better, and I've been at this a long time, and I still have a lot of things that I say, okay, next step is this, next step is this. Here's you know where I'm going. It's a never-ending process, but really what it is, it's a positive walk down the road of life. So that's the first thing you do, is you get rid of the fear. Many of you are believers, and by that I mean believers in God through His Son Jesus Christ, and He tells us, do not fear. I said yesterday in yesterday's 365 times in the Bible, it says, do not be afraid. Jesus says, I will give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. That's what you need to have. You need to have a peace in your heart and in your mind so that you can see clearly as to what should be done. Okay. Now, yes, you do need to prepare because bad things may be coming. How do I know that? Bad things are always coming. Okay? I mean, but realize this also, that most of the bad things you worry about never happen, right? There's a saying that worry is the interest we pay on future problems, most of which never happen. Well, that's true. But they can happen. They can occasionally happen. You can lose your job. You can, whatever. They could shut us down. They could try to shut us down again. The people who were prepared, I tell you what, that shutdown for over the COVID deal, that they are now, everybody knows now it was a big con job. It was great. We loved it. It was great. It was great for a lot of people. You know what happened? We saw people. We would go down on the path. We got a path running through our neighborhood here. This our county has a great trail system, and those paths that are usually vacant, it was packed with people walking and on their bicycles and with their families. People got back to their families. I didn't regret at all our kids not going to school. It kept them right here where I like them, right? So, but these things can happen. But for people, who weren't prepared, who lost their jobs, who didn't have, money saved up, or stocks of food, or stocks of everything else, toilet paper, right? Or didn't have other, alternative income streams, it killed a lot of them. It was horrible. So those things can happen, and they can happen anytime for anything. That thing came along pretty quick, didn't it? We don't know what's going to happen next, and I'm not going to tell you that I do. I'm not going to tell you that it's World War III or the collapse of the economy. What's going on right now? I see these people telling people, we're in a recession, or we're in a depression, and the comments down below, I know it, we are. A bunch of negative Nancy's. Okay. Whether you're in a depression is up to you. I'm gonna say that right clearly. If you have not prepared enough, and a recession or a depression affects you, you need to prepare better. Simple as that, because that's one of the main things that people are all worried about. They're all complaining about the collapse of the economy. Well, why are they continuing to be worried about it? If they know that's the problem, why haven't they done something to prepare for it? See, that's my question. So you do need to prepare, and you need to prepare better. The first thing is get rid of the fear. Get rid of it. Stop watching this stuff. Stop reading this stuff on all the news. If there's a news channel that tells you everything is horrible, stop it. You see, they're wanting it's like a pusher wanting a junkie. He's got to keep giving you the shot so you keep coming back. And the funny thing is that when people finally do break loose of that, when they break loose of the matrix, take the red pill. For a couple of days, they're kind of anxious. It's a withdrawal. It really is. They're kind of anxious. They go, I don't know. What's going on? I mean, is World War III started, and I don't know. And after a few days, they'll tell you, man, I feel so much more relaxed. I'm so much less anxious. I'm less fearful, and that has improved my life today. You see, you can improve your life, within a couple of days, by just knocking off the negative stuff and knock off the internal, that loop that keeps going with you. Oh, it's terrible, it's terrible, terrible. How about this? How about concentrate on this, that God gave you life and made you his own child, and he wants you to do? How about that? Go to God. As I mentioned this the other day, I said, go to God and say, God, what's my purpose? What do you want me to do in this life? And then listen. And when he tells you, go, there I go. There, let's go. All right. And I tell you, your life's going to be like you couldn't have imagined before. I'm serious. A peace that surpasses all understanding. Now, the next thing you do is you continue to do those things, or you increase those things that you know are important to be prepared. Okay? You know what they are: food, water, shelter, defense, people. I should probably do a whole one on people, because I think that's where a lot of preppers fall down. And I'm using that word prepper. I dislike the word prepper. I much prefer the PMP, preparedness-minded person, because prepper to me it connotates a reaction, a fearful reaction to potential problems, to where a PMP, a preparedness-minded person, is one who has made it a part of their life. And they do it positively. Okay, so continue. I'll get back to people in a second, but continue that. How are your water supplies? How much do you have stored? Because you can store a lot of water, right? Whether it's IBC totes, I don't care where you live. Or if you live out in the country, you got your own wells, you're set. But most people don't. Most people live in the cities and the suburbs. So store your water, and whether you do that with 55-gallon drums, or 10-gallon water containers, or 2-liter bottles that after you suck down your Mountain Dew, you refill that with water, and then do you have a way to purify it? And I've said this before. We've used a Berkey filter for a setup for, I don't know, a long time, before I wrote my first book, which was way back in 17, because I won't drink the junk that comes out of the tap, you know. I mean, and you really do need a good way to filter your water wherever you live. If you have a crystal clean spring coming out, okay, good. But you know, well water can be contaminated too. So you need a way to do that. So you need water storage, and you need a way to purify the water, to run that water through something that's going to take out the contaminants. Do your own research, but I like Berkey. And there's others that have come out. I'm not going to say that there's not others that aren't as good, because a lot of companies have been improving their filters over the years. Food, okay. Do you have enough food? How much food do you have? How long could you stay in your house without having to leave? Okay. Well, a year. A lot of people will start with a month. Some people 6 months. The government says a month, I guess. They've changed their recommendations over the years. And but how about a year? I would set, if you're not there yet, set a year as your goal. And if you've been with me for a long time, I say 7 years. Now I know that is not doable for the average person, or at least it's not doable quickly. You'd be surprised how close you can get to that in a matter of time, if you just do it consistently. And that goes into one of the things that I always tell everyone when they start preparing, and that is do something every day. Every day you should do something that has to do with preparedness. Okay. Now, whether that is stop by the store and buy, spaghetti's on sale, pasta's on sale this week. So during the week that it's on sale, I'm going to go buy every day, and while I'm at the store, and I'm going to buy extra pasta, or I'm going to buy extra Progresso soup, or I'm going to buy extra whatever it is. You know, back when ammo was drying up, was that under Obama? Nobody could find 22. You know, I had a rule, and I haven't bought ammo in years. You know why? Because during that time, the prices had not soared yet, and every day I bought ammo. I just stopped by Academy, no matter where I was. My last stop of the day, well, my second last stop of the day was Academy. And I'd go in and I'd pick up a couple of boxes of 22, or if they were out, I'd pick up a couple of boxes of 5.56 or 45 or 40, and that's it. And the result is I will never have to buy more ammo. I will never shoot the ammo I've got. I don't care if we're in a world war. Okay, so now I don't worry about that at all. And for the person, well, I'm not even going to get into that. I'll wait and see if somebody makes a comment, and then I'll address that. And then, never mind. Okay, how's your shelter doing? Is it in good shape? We're spending this summertime really improving a lot of things around our property. It's going to do two things. It's going to, first off, do things around the house that we like. We're putting in new patios and new waterfalls in the back, probably a new pond for fish. We're expanding our gardens. We're doing a lot of things that, number one, is what we want. We will enjoy living in the house. We always have. We love our house. But it will be what we like, but then it will also increase the value of it if and when the time comes that we say, it's time to move. See, so that's an investment in your property. And investment in your property will pay off, because you can always make a move. Now, if you're in your forever place, that doesn't really... Well, I won't say that it doesn't matter to you, because you never know what might happen. You can be in the greatest place. I can think of somebody right now that has a great place in Missouri. Pretty much got it all set. and you could be in that category. Never need to move, have everything tightened down, and all of a sudden something happens, and they need. I won't even go through the scenarios. Think about it, and you got to move. Okay, the improvements you make in your property will not only improve your enjoyment of it now, but make it more valuable in the future when you need to sell it, if you need to sell it. People is where more preppers fail, I think, than in anything else, because too many preppers are insular. They don't want to deal with people. They say people can't be trusted, people are horrible, people are terrible, and I say to them, people are people. Okay? People have always been people. I hear people tell me that, people aren't like what they used to be. Yeah, they are. People have always been this way. Okay? Had somebody say, back in the day when a handshake was worth something, and it's not worth anything now. And I thought, well, that depends on who you're dealing with. I know a lot of people who a handshake is worth something, and there were a lot of people back then, their handshake weren't worth squat, and it doesn't have anything to do with where they live or anything else. If you're having trouble with people, I would suggest that you develop your discernment, because if all of the people that you're running into are, the wrong kind of people, well, it's kind of like the woman or the man who is always dating the wrong people. Everybody I see is a cheating, lousy, stinking, blah blah blah. Really? What's the common denominator? You're the one picking them, right? It's the same with people in preparedness. And that's why I don't suggest, and I speak vehemently against, putting together a MAG or a group. I do not believe in pre-catastrophe formed groups, because the reason being is that because people are drawn to the group for that particular person. And so you have a group of people who are drawn for this one specific purpose of preparedness. You don't know what they're like in other areas of their life. You don't know their history. You don't know whatever, okay? And more groups fall apart or explode over things like this. Then you start learning more about people, and you learn, oh, this guy isn't what I thought he was, right? And now you've got problems. Now, I don't suggest that at all. I suggest, again, do you know the secret of Stonemont? The quality of the people that they allowed to come in to their group. First off, it was a family-centered group. And then they were willing to help people, and they had rules. And it was one guy that set the rules. It wasn't a bunch of people coming together and saying, what should we do with this group? And one guy, Jim Wyatt, the head character there, he says, come on, we're going to help you. Here's the rules. Nobody eats unless they work. Everybody's treated well. It's not a slavery. They really want to help people. Now, in my life, I've never put together a group. I've belonged to a lot of groups of people, not preparedness groups. And, if you have to, you'll find that there's all sorts of people in that group, right? They were brought together by one common interest, but when you really get down under the surface, there's a lot of differences there and a lot that you don't agree with. And I'm not going to tie myself to a group and my family's future safety to a group that may have people in it with very different standards and principles that I do. So here's why you should have what I call a circle of friends. My circle of friends are people I have known for years and who I know, and we believe in the same thing. We believe the same way. I know a lot of people that aren't in my circle of friends. You know why? Because we don't believe the same things about everything, and they would be dangerous to bring into a group. Okay. Now, if everything falls apart and I can help them, and they make their way over to me and they say, Steve, I need help, I'll say, you betcha, I'm here to help you. Here are the rules. Here are the rules. Disobey the rules, break the rules, you're gone. Simple as that. But you have to have a cohesive center in order for any group to work. Groups run by committees are inefficient and usually collapse because of infighting. Simple as that. So you think about these things. You need to prepare better starting right now, and you can. Think about the things you need, okay? Think about those areas that are important. Food, water, shelter, defense, people. Do something about them every day. And when it comes to people, be discerning. That's the thing. That's the key. Be very discerning. Get to know people. And again, this is where many preppers fail miserably. I don't want to get to know people. Okay. Up to you. You're not going to do well. And the ability to deal with people and discern between people is one of the most important skills in life. There is no getting around that. It doesn't matter how much somebody doesn't want to believe it. It certainly is. Dealing with people. You know why? Because the world is full of them. You're not gonna. You can run off to the woods, but what you do is going to be limited. What you're going to be able to accomplish is going to be limited. Might be okay right now. Might be okay. But the day will still come. You'll have to deal with people, and you need to be able to. Doesn't mean you compromise your principles at all. It means you need to be able to deal with people. Okay. All right. Do it. You need to prepare better starting today, and you can. And I'm going to give you one more. Do this next. If go out right now, buy some Progresso soup, and order these off our website, stonemont.us. Within the first book, you are going to be so uplifted. You are going to be motivated to prepare better. Okay? Right down there, stonemont.us. And I get to sign them for you. Great. All right, guys. Fear not. Let not your heart be troubled. Approach life positively, the way God meant you to. And let me know in the comments how you're doing. Were you at one time fearful? Have you gotten over it? Do you want to get over it? And then come join us on the Patreon channel too. We have some wonderful people over there. You will read stories that will people they share their life, their experiences in preparedness and what they've done, and that will further motivate you. You'll see that not everybody out there is a jerk. You'll see there's some good people. And then if you come to our next year's gathering, you'll meet some more. October 4th, put it on your calendar. We look forward to seeing you there. Have a good day, and remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. So get out there, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.